In a small village where mud houses stood with broken roofs and tired eyes looked at life with silence, there lived a poor girl named Isabel. She owned no gold, no silk dresses, and no luxury, yet her heart carried a light that poverty could never dim. Her father had passed away long ago, and her mother remained weak and ill. Isabel spent her days working in other people's homes, carrying water, washing clothes, and returning in the evening to sit beside her mother, listening to old tales of castles, princesses, and magic. At night, Isabel would often gaze at the sky, wondering whether destiny had written something beautiful for her as well, or whether her life would always be filled with labor and silent tears. The villagers considered her weak, unaware that patience, kindness, and quiet strength lived within her, more powerful than any crown. Whenever she saw someone in pain, she helped without hesitation, even when she herself had nothing to give. One day, a strange light appeared near the forest beside the village. Fear spread among the people, and no one dared to go near it. But Isabel's nature held more curiosity than fear. She slowly walked into the forest and found an old woman lying injured, surrounded by a soft blue glow. Without thinking twice, Isabel treated her wounds, offered her the only piece of bread she had, and stayed by her side. The old woman's eyes shone unnaturally, as if she were no ordinary human. The woman smiled and said that true wealth lives not in gold, but in the heart. Placing her hand on Isabel's head, she whispered that when the time comes, truth always finds its way. In the very next moment, the woman turned into light and disappeared. Isabel stood frozen, unsure whether it was a dream or reality, but a new sense of hope quietly awakened in her heart. A few days later, an announcement echoed through the land. A grand celebration was to be held at the royal palace, and the king had declared that every young woman of the kingdom was invited, for the prince wished to choose his future queen himself. The village girls prepared new dresses, jewelry, and dreams. Isabel knew she had nothing to wear and no means to travel, yet her heart longed to see the world she had only known through stories. On the night of a celebration, as Isabel sat sadly outside her home, the same blue light appeared again. The old woman's voice echoed softly, reminding her that courage never returns empty-handed. In moments, Isabel's simple clothes transformed into a radiant gown, shimmering with magic. A delicate crown rested in her hair, and glass-like shoes appeared on her feet. But with the magic came a condition: it would all vanish at midnight. When Isabel arrived at the palace, every gaze turned towards her. She was not only beautiful, there was dignity in her presence that even trained princesses often lacked. The prince, who had grown tired of false smiles and shallow praise, was instantly drawn to her sincerity and the truth in her eyes. They talked, laughed, and for the first time the prince felt understood as a human being, not merely as a throne. As midnight approached, Isabel panicked and rushed out of the palace. One glass shoe was left behind on the steps, but she did not turn back. The next morning, the palace buzzed with whispers about the mysterious girl. The prince vowed to find her, the girl whose heart had touched his own. The shoe was tested across the kingdom, yet it fit no one. At last, the prince reached Isabel's village. When she tried on the shoe, it fit perfectly. The villagers stood in disbelief. The girl who once worked in their homes was now destined to become a princess. Tears filled Isabel's eyes, not with pride, but with gratitude. She embraced her mother and promised never to forget where she came from. After marriage, Isabel did not become a princess in name alone. She understood the true meaning of living in a palace. She opened doors for the poor, chose justice over luxury, and kept humanity alive within royal walls. Her kindness was not weakness, it was her greatest strength. She ruled with both heart and wisdom, and the people began to see her not just as their queen, but as their own daughter. With time, Isabel proved that royalty is not written in blood, but in character. The palace, once filled only with wealth and power, now echoed with hope, fairness, and compassion. The girl who once had nothing became a shelter for thousands. She showed the world that when intentions are pure, fate itself bows down, and even a poor girl can rule a palace, not only its throne, but the hearts within it.